Right, so very warm welcome to both of you. Nice to see you again, Lynn and Elaine. So yeah, we're just gonna jump straight in, having done our expression already, to today's email with our daily quote. So I'll share my screen with you. Maybe Lynn, if you can kick this one off.
Yeah.
You can read the quote for us kindly.
The body has many needs, but the soul has only one, to be with God.
A simple but a profound quote from an American writer and speaker called Yasmin Mogahed, which highlights our soul's only real need, which is to unite with its source. Soul is only one, to be with God. What does that mean? So Yeshua doesn't use the term soul very much in A Course in Miracles, preferring the more general term spirit or Holy Spirit to refer to the aspect of our minds that still knows its source. And the end terminology doesn't really matter because the words only point us to what is beyond the words. An experience that transcends our belief in separation and this world. That is its projection, right? That the world is a projection of the belief in separation. And this transcendent reality is our deepest yearning that can only be fulfilled when we choose to let go of what keeps our awareness bound to this world. Chief among these attachments or blocks is the special relationship, which Yeshua has been explaining in more detail in the last 3 chapters of the text that we've been reading. So there's a bonus discussion. We discuss special relationships in some detail. Discuss 4 archetypes of ego. With Kim, we discussed the Limitless movie and how those archetypes play out in Limitless. And then we onwards. And we talked about 3 types of forgiveness: pseudo, compassionate, and radical in this live session. So there's a couple of recordings here for you. Can recommend listening to them. There was some good stuff from them. And that brings us to our live session. This really leads us into today's lesson that talks about I'm one with God. Soul has only one need, to be with God, and that means to be in the awareness we call God. God is pure formless awareness of perfect love. To be with God means that our minds, because it's really what the soul means, our higher mind, is in this state of awareness. So just think of the language, and how helpful that is. Instead of my soul is with God, kind of a bit abstract and theoretical, what does that even mean? My mind is in a state of pure formless awareness. Much more practical, much more realistic, much more, okay, it's about a state of mind. That it points, the word's still a concept, but it points to a state that is beyond concepts. In pure formless awareness, there are no concepts. There's none of that kind of thinking remains. It's just pure formless awareness. Okay, so let's dive into today's lesson, I think. Let's go to the document I've done. Might be worth actually looking. We haven't done the introduction to it. So another review lesson. We're reviewing the last 20 lessons. So this is lesson 142 and the introduction to it and the other review lessons. So let's read that again. You can just go to the alternative, not much to translate. So yeah, Lynn, if you can read the first paragraph, please, in the
Just make it
alternative.
bigger for me, please, Jono.
Yeah, of course. Let's zoom it into 140, shall we say? Is that big enough?
That's better. Okay. Now I review again, this time aware I am preparing for the second part of learning how the truth can be applied. Today, I will begin to concentrate on readiness for what will follow next. This is my aim for this review and for the lessons following it. And so I review the recent lessons and essential thoughts in a way that will facilitate the readiness I aim to achieve now.
Yes, so what's he saying there? In summary.
Oh, that's weird. As I was reading it, it felt like a foreign language, so I'm not clicking with that for some reason. Now review, and it's so basic, I can see that it's really basic. But now I review again, this time where I'm preparing for the second part of learning how the truth can be applied. Honestly, it sounds like riddles, so I've obviously got some block to it, I'd say.
So how, this is about application of the truth. It's about applying these lessons, and he's saying, concentrate on readiness for what will follow next. So you're preparing yourself for the lessons to come by consolidating your learning, saying, right, I'm reviewing this in a way that will facilitate the readiness that I aim to achieve now. He does a little bit of where you are in your process, and this is about reviewing and readying yourself for what's still to come in this course. And know that if when you review, as he suggests, you are making yourself ready for what's to come, preparing yourself. If you do good preparation, then much more likely to get a better outcome. So John's just actually been on a 9-day hike, and we did quite a lot of preparation, did a few one-on-one sessions to prepare him. And it went really well as a result. It's like, oh no, I really felt prepared. I felt ready for whatever inevitable challenges are going to come up. And there's a lot of miracles that came. If we're not ready and we're not prepared, then it's more likely the ego is going to come in and have a say and sabotage our flow. So the practice is readying ourselves, preparing ourselves for the coming of grace, and to remain open to that grace and in a state of flow. So I think that's essentially what he's saying. And just by practicing as he's suggesting, we are readying ourselves for that state. Okay, so having said that, let's go on to number 2. Elaine, if you can read that in actually let's read this in it both. So I'll read the original.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, Lynn, there's 2 of it. So Lynn, you read the original, and then Elaine reads the alternative.
Sorry, is this number 3? Where am I? Sorry.
Paragraph 2, yeah, there is a central theme.
Tell you what, I've got really weird energy spinning in my head, so I'm not concentrating. There is a central theme that unifies each step in the review we undertake, which can be simply stated in these words. My mind holds only what I think with God. Honestly, this is like I could be reading French.
Really interesting. So just the words aren't penetrating.
My whole mind holds only what I think we've got. I swear, honestly, that makes. Okay, right, calm
Okay,
down.
so let's translate that for you because that might help.
Dear.
So Elaine, if you want to read the translation of that.
There is a central theme that unifies each step in the review I undertake, which can be simply stated in these words. My awareness holds only what I think with perfect love. So it's just saying.
Does that make any difference, Evelyn? My awareness holds only what I think with perfect love. But more practical.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me at the moment.
Well, just think it's been quite a while since you did the session, and so just kind of getting into it and allowing, just allow. It's like it's okay, you know. Just the love will come if you open to it. So you don't really have to understand the words. Just open to the feeling.
It looks like really simple, basic words.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's not complicated. So only perfect love. Perfect love is unconditional love. So my awareness holds only what I think with perfect love. And saying that as an affirmation means that everything else has got to be excluded. So any fear, any anger, irritation, and any of the negative thoughts that are not perfect love cannot be in your awareness. Then this is what this is saying.
Okay.
And the reason why
Yeah.
you're feeling a bit blocked is because you've obviously had some of that with the incident you shared with the cat.
Yeah.
You've had quite a bit of that, and then it's like now this is saying, well, actually none of that's really there. None of it's true.
Mm.
So let it all go. Only unconditional love. Only those thoughts are real. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. What you're saying makes absolute sense. I was just
Mm.
reading the sentences again though, and it's so weird. It's very,
Mm.
very odd. It's like looking at a different language at the moment.
Mm.
Very strange.
Well,
It's not
as I said,
usually
it's
like
been a
this.
while since you've done this, isn't it?
It's not that long though, is it? It was only like the week before last or something.
Yeah,
It shouldn't
yeah,
feel like this.
yeah. This is what it is. The ego's
Mm.
resistance to the truth. I mean, this is a profound statement. Well, awareness holds only what I think with perfect love. Well, that'll take you to full enlightenment. If you really understand that and are prepared to hold to that. There's nothing else in my mind except love. That's what it's saying.
Well, and I
Only what
understand that
perfect
sentence,
love.
but reading that sentence there, that actually makes no sense to me.
My awareness holds only what I think with perfect love.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Hmm? Why not?
God, it just doesn't. Oh, it's really freaking me out.
Hmm. Only unconditional love. You can only perceive with unconditional love. This is what it's saying.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Only unconditional love.
Holds only what I think with perfect love. Oh God, I can't keep looking at it.
Well, just go with it. And sometimes it's what happens. The ego blocks you.
Big
It's
time.
very simple because it's a very profound idea. If you really accept this idea, then it's the end of your ego, the end of the entire world. Because what you see in this world, see and perceive in this world, is not perfect love. It's anything but that, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
Horrendous.
Okay, so let's carry on. That is a fact. It represents the truth, and this might help you as well. Just some explanation. So read the number 3 in the original, and then Elaine in the alternative.
That is a fact and represents the truth of what you are and what your Father is. It is this thought by which the Father gave creation to the Son, establishing the Son as a co-creator with himself.
Yeah, just pause there and then let Elaine read.
There is a central theme. Oh no, I've read that.
That is a fact.
Yeah, that is a fact and represents the truth of what I am and what my source is.
And then number 4, Elaine, read number 4 as well.
Oh, it is this thought by which the source gave being to its extension, establishing the extension as an extender of perfect love itself.
Okay. And then is this thought to fully guarantee salvation to the Son?
It is this thought that fully guarantees salvation to the Son.
Elaine, number 5.
It is this thought that fully guarantees the extension will awaken.
Yeah. So that's what salvation means. It's going to awaken. Number 6.
For in his mind no thoughts can dwell, but those his Father shares.
For only the thoughts it shares can be in my awareness.
Lack of forgiveness blocks this thought from his awareness.
Resistance to letting go blocks this thought from my awareness.
Yet it is forever true.
Yet it is forever true.
True forever. Okay, and then Elaine, I think just read it in the alternative. Or Lynn, do you want to read an alternative, or would you prefer Elaine to read it?
No, Elaine, you do it.
Read in the alternative.
Please.
Yeah. This is a fact and represents the truth of what I am and what my source is. It is this thought by which my source gave being to its extension, establishing the extension as an extender of perfect love like itself.
You missed out. There is a central theme.
Oh, there is a central theme that unifies each step in the reviews I will undertake, which can simply be stated in these words. My awareness holds only what I think with perfect love. Read all this again. This is a fact and represents the truth of what I am and what my source is. It is this thought by which my source gave being to its extension, establishing the extension as an extender of perfect love like itself. It is this thought that fully guarantees the extension will awaken, for only the thoughts it shares can be in my awareness. Resistance to letting go blocks this thought from my awareness, yet it is true forever. So it's just letting us know that it's there and it's true, but we are resistant and we've got blocks to this awareness. And, it's guaranteed. Just let it go. We are like it. We are part of it. We are perfect love. And once we're in this perfect love, this is what we will extend from our awareness.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And the resistance to letting go blocks this thought from my awareness, yet it is true forever. So if you encounter, like, Lynn, you're saying I'm not understanding it or difficulty, it's just not because you're stupid, it's just because there's a resistance
Yeah. Oh, I know, and I can feel it. And then
to
just
the
as I
word,
was,
to what it's really saying, because it's very,
yeah,
profound what it's saying.
because when I was listening to Elaine reading that, I was and then her explanation at the end of it, I was thinking, I bet this is about my mum. I
Yeah.
bet it's about me being a bit mad at my mum
Hmm.
for the cat situation. So yeah,
Awareness holds only what I think with perfect love. Okay.
yeah,
So I can't hold on to any grievance, to any attack thoughts, to any thoughts of being indignant and upset in any way, because my awareness holds only what I think with perfect love. That's unconditional love. No conditions.
yeah. I'm being judgmental,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's not perfect love.
no,
And so this would, help you to release that. And the ego's going, no, I don't want to know that,
yeah,
because it likes you being in your judgmental state. Because what does
yeah,
it do? It defines you as separate from the person being judged, in this
yeah,
case, your mom. And then the ego uses the situation for that, to define you as separate from her. So you have a separate identity, your ego is strengthened, and oneness is denied.
yeah. Absolutely. It made me think I am the black sheep of this family. I actually think different to every single part of my family. I'm the
Hmm.
odd one out who thinks differently.
Hmm.
Yeah, it did. That's what I was thinking last night.
And then that defines you as some kind of separate person. I'm not the same as them. I'm different. On the level of form, that might seem to be true, but that's an illusion. You're the same as them. In fact, your job is to show them the way home, show them the way back to love, because that's what everyone wants. You don't do that by separating. You do that by forgiving and uniting in your own perception. And my awareness holds only what I think with perfect love would heal all of, the egoic negative thoughts that are going on, because you can't hold them there.
Mm.
And so, one sentence like this is the end of the ego. This is how powerful this course is. If your awareness holds only what you think with perfect love, there can be no separate awareness. There can be no ego. Okay, so let's carry on. Let me begin my preparation. This one you can just read in the alternatives and not much to translate. Lack of true forgiveness will become the lack of true letting go. Otherwise, nothing else changes. So, Lynn, if you can read that in the alternative, number 3 in the alternative, kindly.
Let me begin my preparation with some understanding of the many forms in which the lack of true letting go may be carefully concealed. Because they are illusions, I may not perceive them to be what they really are, defenses that protect my negative thoughts from being perceived and recognized. Their purpose is to show me something else and stop me from letting go of self-deceptions made to take its place.
Yeah, so what's he saying there?
If I don't see things as pure awareness of perfect love, it's wrong, so it's never gonna work. It's never, that's we're not going to be seeing it how it truly is.
So perceive all of these illusions, your cat situation, your mum, as what they really are. Defenses that protect my negative thoughts from being perceived and recognized. They're just defenses. Their purpose is to show you something else, stop you from letting go of the self-deceptions made to take its place. Take its place should be maybe truth's place. Take forgiveness's place. Made to take. Might be better just to say this is what the ego is ingenious at doing, at making up illusions to deceive us into
I've got
believing
quite a bit of that going on at the moment.
in something else, believing in something else other than perfect love. And that, in fact, is what this world is about. It's just saying, but see it for what it is. It's just a denial of the truth, all of it. It's designed to negate the truth of who you are and the truth of perfect love and replace it with something else. A thought system based on separation and lack and scarcity and inevitably, fear and guilt and attack thoughts come into that. And that's what it's for. That's what we've done. It makes life through this lens, it makes life very simple, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not really complicated. This is just another defense against the truth. This cat situation, any situation where I'm tempted to believe in these thoughts is just another defense against the truth. And that's what's really going on. The ego is just using this to prevent me from understanding who I really am and who everyone else really is. And it's doing it again in and through this new situation that it's invented. And if I believe that the self-deception, then I'm lost. Then I'm lost in the dream.
Yeah.
Sleep. And I don't really know what's going on.
And suffering.
And I'm suffering, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the price for self-deception is suffering. So if you're perfectly happy, say, okay, we'll carry on. But you're not, are you?
No.
So then a correction needs to be made. And it starts with recognizing that these are just defenses against the truth. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. They have no reality. They have no substance. They're not important. They're not meaningful. They are just what your ego is using to protect its identity, to defend itself, and continue the illusion that you are, in fact, Lynn Sampson, a separate self. Okay, so then he goes on. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Number 4, yet my awareness. Elaine, if you can read this. An alternative. God becomes perfect love. Everything else is same.
And yet my awareness holds only what I think with perfect love. My self-deceptions cannot take the place. It throws a stick into the ocean, change the coming and the goings of the tides, the warming of the water by the sun.
Okay, I can't hear you. Elaine, are you there? You there?
Well, that was just me then that I couldn't hear her.
No, you just disappeared. Okay, I don't know what's happened to Elaine's sound. So Elaine, if you can take over, read from number 3, no more than can a child.
No more than can a child who throws a stick into the ocean change the coming and the going of the tides, the warming of the water by the sun, the silver of the moon on it by night.
Yeah, carry on.
Karen. So I start each practice period in this review with readying my mind to understand the lessons that I read and their true meaning.
Yeah. What's he saying there?
We need to see the truths, and not be delving into the deceptions, the stuff, the stories that we make up.
Yeah, quite a nice analogy he uses here. Nature
Yeah.
analogy. Well, you're a child, you throw a stick into the ocean. That has no effect on the ocean. The coming and the going of the tides, the warming of the water by the sun, the silver of the moon on by night. None of that's affected at all by your self-deceptions. They're trying to, give us this idea that, the truth is just eternal. It's there whether you believe it or not. And so just, be willing to understand this and surrender to this amazing truth that's always there, always been there. And this is what it means to be humble. You have to humble your own understanding, your own judgment in this case of the situation. Okay, I don't really know. Your ego tells you it knows, but you don't really know. Because the truth is you don't know where you are. We're in an illusion. We think that we're actually human. We think the world's real, but actually none of that's true. You're just in a dream world, believing that all this stuff is true, but actually your mind is confused about what reality is. And you can't fortunately change perfect love. Perfect love is perfect love, irrespective of what you say or do. Okay, so let's go to number 5. Elaine, are you back? Don't know what happened there. We couldn't hear you.
Yeah, you seem to go off. I lost connection with you. Got disconnected. Okay. Number 5.
Yeah, number 5.
I begin each day with time devoted to the preparation of my mind to learn what each idea I will review that day can offer me in freedom and peace. I open my awareness and clear it of all thoughts that deceive and let this thought alone engage it fully and remove the rest. My awareness holds only what I think with perfect love. 5 minutes with this thought will be enough to set the day along the lines that perfect love intends and to allow this awareness to direct all my thoughts that day. It's just saying prepare our minds for this freedom and peace that it will offer us through this awareness and clear all our thoughts and deceptions. And just let this thought alone engage our day fully and just remove the rest. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very simple. This isn't rocket science. Very, very, very simple what he's asking us to do, but very radically, different from the ego's program. My awareness holds only what I think with love. With perfect love means that there's no room for the ego in any of its thoughts. And this, he says, if you practice with this idea, it'll set the day along the lines that perfect love intends. And then to continue, and to allow this awareness to direct all my thoughts that day. And it's such a simple thing. You can say my awareness holds what I think with perfect love, or you can just not. But, saying it can set you up for an entirely different kind of experience in your day. And of course, the ego doesn't want you to understand that experience, so it has resistance to this. Okay, so number 6 then. So swap around. Elaine, if you can read the original line by line, and then you read the alternative.
They will not come from you alone, for they will be shared with him.
These thoughts will not come from me alone, for they will all be shared with perfect love.
And so each one will bring the message of his love to you, returning messages of yours to him.
And so each one will bring the message of his love to me, returning messages of mine to it.
No, this love. Instead of his, it's neutral, gender neutral. It's just a love, this love.
Okay.
So will communion with the Lord of hosts be yours, as he himself will be willed it be.
And so communion,
has willed it be,
And so communion with this ultimate awareness will be mine, as it was willed it to be, as it has willed it to be.
So the Lord of hosts is ultimate awareness. Makes it much more accessible. Lord of hosts is a bit
and as his own
some kind of
complete
ultimate Lord. Number 4?
Yeah. And as his own completion joins with him, so will he join with you, who are complete as you unite with him, and he with you.
And as its own completion joins with itself, so it will join with me, who am complete as I unite with it and it with me.
Okay, then read that whole paragraph in the alternative one.
These thoughts will not come from me alone, for they will all be shared with perfect love. And so each one will bring the message of his love to me, returning messages of mine to it. And so communion with this ultimate awareness will be mine, and it has willed it to be. And as its own completion joins with itself, so it will join with me, who am complete as I unite with it and it unites with me.
Okay, so is that making sense? A bit more sense now?
Yeah, more than before. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So is that saying like, let's just, so bear with me. If I'm following this path and I'm aware of these truths and I know this is true and I don't believe all the nonsense, then the connection is there. So it's in flow, and then I'll only be I can't think of the words, but I'll only be thinking the right things is what I was going to say, the right thoughts. Is that what it means? Something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. To put it in really practical terms, this can seem to be very highfalutin. I mean, this is why the translation can be helpful. So will communion with the Lord of hosts be yours, as he himself has willed it to be. It's like, well, what does that actually mean? The Lord of hosts. And then, you're just in your daily life and you're like, well, I'm not really experiencing much Lord of hosts going on. I'm just experiencing a traffic jam or you know, my normal daily problems and challenges. But it's an awareness. The Lord of Hosts refers to the ultimate awareness, pure formless awareness of perfect love, we call it. That can still be yours by not getting sucked into believing the ego's interpretations of your perceptions. This ultimate awareness becomes your awareness. This is all he's saying.
Yeah.
And then it joins with you and you join with it. And this awareness is your awareness, and there's no separation anymore. It's one awareness. And this awareness then directs all of your thoughts and your words and your actions. And this awareness guides you in your life. This awareness becomes you. That's the whole point. It is really you. But to realize that, you have to let go of the other awareness that contradicts it. So it's really, 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 really very simple. You know, all religions, all spiritual teachings boil down to this very, very simple teaching of there's only really one awareness. It's your own true nature, it's your own fundamental awareness. And uniting with this awareness is salvation. This is where you'll find happiness and peace and love and joy, and ultimately you won't need to be human anymore, because in this awareness you're simply pure awareness, and there's no need to be a body and no need to have a separate identity. So it's very, 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 very simple. But to live it is, you know, is the practice. When you're lost in the dream world, away from this awareness, then it seems anything but simple, because your mind is consumed with another awareness that is just designed to distract you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so it's really, really simple. There's nothing complicated about this teaching at all. It's just so radical that we struggle with it, because it's all valid. None of it's true. Okay. So Lane, if you can read the next one and just read in the alternative.
After my preparation, I merely read each of the 2 ideas assigned to me to be reviewed that day. Then I close my eyes and say them slowly to myself. There is no hurry now, for I'm using time for its intended purpose. I let each word shine with the meaning pure formless awareness of perfect love has given it, as it was given to me through its voice. I allow each idea which I review that day to give me the gift that it has prepared for me through the lesson, and I will use only this format for my practicing. So it's just saying, after our preparation, we read these ideas, the 2 ideas, and close our eyes, and just slowly, without hurry, allow these words to shine in, coming from our pure formless awareness of perfect love, as it's given to us through its voice. So we just allow this review of today to give us the gift and prepare us for the lesson.
Yeah, just allow the meaning to reveal itself. That's what he's saying. You don't have to force it. Just by dedicating the time in the way he's suggesting, just, you know, let this deeper meaning reveal itself. Let each word shine with the meaning. When you use the words correctly, you do experience an inner shining, if you like. There's some awareness there that feels very transcendent and very nice, in my experience. And that's what the words are designed to connect us with. And he's saying, we'll do this hourly. Why not, you know, connect with this true awareness every hour? Why wait, you know, the whole day? Just top yourself up and do it for a minute or 2 each hour. Okay, so next one, each hour of the day. You can read that, Lynn.
Each hour of the day, I bring to my awareness the main thought with which the day began and spend a quiet moment with it. Then I repeat the 2 ideas I practice for the day unhurriedly, spending enough time to experience the gifts that they contain for me and allow them to be received where they were meant to be.
Okay, thoughts on that?
With which the thought with which the day began.
Yeah, so that's the this idea, this thought, which is the overriding thought that doesn't change through the 10 review lessons. My mind holds only what I think with God, or my mind holds only
Yeah,
think,
and then apply it to
and
everything.
then have the two review lessons that come after that. And so he does this quite often in reviews. The idea of the first thought is it kind of sets you into an awareness, opens you up to that, and then prepares you for reviewing the other 2 ideas, which will be in arriving in hopefully a more open mind. The mind has been prepared because you've contemplated that first idea. So almost like plowing the soil, being and the soil's ready for the seed.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just go straight in, it's like you haven't prepared yourself. So
Yeah, because if you wake up and you're thinking chaotic thoughts and
yeah,
don't check in on them, yeah, everything's just going to be chaotic. You have to calm yourself down and remind yourself that
yeah.
everything's okay.
So
I know. Yeah.
contemplating the first idea can prepare you for that. Like even it's a minute or 2, it's just like, okay, calm my thoughts, open my awareness, and then within that open mind, you repeat the 2 ideas unhurriedly, and then those ideas have more impact and more meaning. And that's why he's saying, give it some time. Give this a few minutes every hour. Spend a bit of time contemplating the main idea, so that you are prepared for the other 2 ideas, and they will come into sort of a more fertile mind. Mind is more receptive. So it's quite clever, the way he structured these reviews. He gives you the one idea first to prepare you and to make the review ideas more meaningful, that they will go in on a deeper level. And sometimes I find with the reviews that because you're doing 2 lessons at a time, it's kind of sinks in. You go, oh, okay, I see the connections. There's clearly a connection between these ideas, and I'm seeing it more from a bigger picture, and it's making more sense than when I did it individually. And that's the whole point of doing the reviews. Okay, so I had no other thoughts, but let these be the messages they are. Elaine, if you can read that.
I had no other thoughts, but let these be the messages they are. I need no more than this to give me happiness and rest, endless quiet, perfect certainty in all my source wills that I receive as my inheritance from it. Each day of practicing, as I review, I close the review as I began, repeating first the thought that made the day a special time of blessing and happiness for me, and through my faithfulness restored the world from limited awareness to true awareness, from grief to joy, from pain to peace, and from sin to innocence.
Yeah, the original is from darkness to light, grief to joy, pain to the darkness to the light is negative awareness to pure formless awareness. Grief to joy, from pain to peace, from sin to innocence. Okay, any thoughts on that?
I was just making it clear that we don't want to add any thoughts to the messages that have been given to us. And we just, we need no more than just to be given happiness and rest and endless quiet and, perfect certainty. All that the source offers us, this is our inheritance. So we want to practice this each day so that it sinks in.
Yeah. Very simple. So it's a systematic approach to happiness. He's saying, well, if you want it, come and get it. Practice. Every hour, practice. You practice experiencing happiness using these simple lessons. These, very, very simple, straightforward, but it's also straightforward not to do them. If you don't practice, then you don't give yourself the experience. Do you? Okay, so let's read the final one in both the original and the alternative. So Lane, if you can read original, and then Lynn read the alternative.
God offers thanks to you who practice thus the keeping of his word.
Perfect love will give me an expanded experience when I practice receiving its message in this way.
And as you give your mind to these ideas for the day, again before you sleep, his gratitude surrounds you in the peace wherein he wills you be forever, and are learning now to claim again as your inheritance.
And as I hold the ideas for the day in my awareness, again before I go to sleep, its gratitude surrounds me in the peace it will bring into my experience forever, and I am learning now to claim again as my inheritance.
Okay, and then just read it in the alternative again. Lynn.
Read it again.
Yeah, just in the alternative.
Perfect love will give me an expanded experience when I practice receiving its message in this way. And as I hold the ideas for the day in my awareness, again, it's moving.
Sorry, I'm just typing. So starting at pure, I've just changed God to pure formless awareness of perfect love. It's more
Pure formless awareness of perfect love will give me an expanded experience when I practice receiving its message in this way. And as I hold the ideas for the day in my awareness again before I go to sleep, its gratitude surrounds me in the peace it will bring into my experience forever, and I'm learning now to claim again as my inheritance.
yeah, thoughts on that?
Yeah, to stay with the truth and peaceful thoughts. It's an interesting one before you go to sleep. The dreams I have sometimes are obviously me processing stuff through the day and that. It's really hard though. Do you go to bed at night and think to myself, right, do you have that awareness that says, right, now I know everything's okay, pure formless awareness of perfect love, and I'm at peace? Do you think that before you go to sleep?
Yeah, so I do a bit of practice. I usually, do a pre-bed, remind myself of the lesson, spend a few minutes reviewing the day. There's four questions that I give you to ask and answer at the end of the day. So I'll go through that process, and it just kind of puts everything to bed, literally. It's like resets you into like, okay, it's all okay. Whatever happened in the day, how could I have handled this difficult situation better? So I might contemplate that if there was any difficulty that arose, what did I learn about it? How does that learning serve me? And what am I grateful for? And, just have just a little structure like that, and then doing the lesson, it helps you clear stuff. So you don't go to bed. You don't want to go to bed on a negative note where there's, negative thoughts and emotions still going on. You want to clear it. So you reset. You might find you sleep better.
It's really weird listening to all this because I know I'm becoming aware of something and it's not good.
Mm.
But I know I know where I'm very blessed. I know I've got so much to be grateful for, and I'm aware of them, and I am grateful, aware and grateful for them. My life's chaos.
Mm.
When I'm listening to this, I'm like, my life's quite chaotic, really.
Mm.
It's quite uncomfortable.
Mm. Well, it's having a disciplined structure. If you can
Yeah, I
have
haven't got one. I haven't got one
you can
at
have a
all.
structure, it's so helpful because it resets you. You get up in the morning, you set yourself into a nice zone, you carry that through the day with you. At night, you go to bed again, and you remind yourself of the truth. And it just smooths out all the rough edges of life. You're really supporting yourself to let go of the inevitable difficulties and challenges, not hold on to them, and be able to cope better, become more resilient, more able to deal with things. So there's a huge benefit to being organized, a little bit organized in your spiritual practice, because it gives you much more of an ongoing, sustainable effect than hit or miss. I do a bit here, I do a bit there, but I don't have a structure and a process. And I talked about, that England, the England match, the football,
Yeah.
and that the guys were, they had a process and they stuck to the process. That was what was so admirable. I was like, okay, they're under huge pressure. Imagine, the whole country's watching you. Well,
Yeah.
not
How
you,
do they
but
do that?
a lot of people have a lot of investment in you taking that penalty, right? If you miss the penalty, instantly millions of people are going to know about it, and they're going to be, you missed the penalty, you cost us the game. I mean, massive psychological pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how do you deal with that kind of pressure except through a disciplined, structured process? Okay, I'll just go through my process and I'll do what's required. Fortunately, maybe we're not professional footballers. You don't have that kind of pressure. The whole world's not watching you and going, oh, Lynn, you're going to mess up. And, no, you're not under that kind of pressure. But nevertheless, the teaching applies. Like, have a process. So when the pressure comes, inevitably the ego is going to amp up the pressure, and it's going to bring in difficult situations and try and cause chaos in your life and cause you to lose your focus and lose touch with spirit, and and that's what it's going to try and do. It's going to try and do. Well, a disciplined, structured process can help you prevent that.
Yeah.
And that's why, that kind of a process is so helpful when you're learning this. If you're already an enlightened master and you already had that down and you were just able to be in the now and like, well, there's no need for practice because I'm just floating on a cloud of bliss and pure formless awareness all day, then fair enough, you don't need a process. But how many people do you know like that, who, in that state all the time? Very, very few. It's a very rare human being who's attained that state, and they probably attained it through a structured, disciplined process of spiritual practice. They're probably pretty disciplined in their approach to get there. So put it in place. I give you all the tools. Understand, this is just, it's all there for you to create some structure and some process and some discipline in your life. I don't expect anyone to do all of this. Oh, there's a lot here.
Yeah.
But take some of it and say, okay, there it all is. There's my ideal schedule for the day. What can I do? What's realistic? I could do a meditation for half an hour when I started. Okay, there's the recording. I could vary it a bit if I get bored of that one. There's variations on it, and I could do that, and I could do the lesson. I could read the prayer. I could remind myself of my higher purpose. Maybe I don't do that every day if I'm pushed for time, but I could do that every second day or third day. I could listen to the recording of the day. Maybe if I can't do the first meditation, I can just do the 17-minute one. You see, so like you come up with a process that works for you that you can do. And it will keep you in, the reason why you do it is because it keeps you in tune with your spirit. It keeps you connected. It stops the disorganization, the chaos of the ego coming in and throwing you off. And the 3-minute, the breath breaks are there to just top you up. Okay, well, if you can do this every hour, you're going to stay connected. You're going to stay in that state. You keep connecting to that state. You reconnect and you keep reconnecting every hour. You're going to stay in that state, aren't you? In the state of my mind holds only what I think with pure formless awareness of perfect love. And so I remember that I am this awareness and I thank it for all its gifts to me. Imagine if you said that every hour and you just contemplated that for a minute or two. It's going to reset your state every hour, isn't it? Into a much more connected state. And then you carry on. Okay?
I can't even imagine doing. I mean, sometimes 3 hours just pass by and I don't even know where they've gone.
Yeah. And that is not an uncommon experience. I mean, we all do it. But having these things as a structure in your life, say, okay, well, I'll set a reminder on my phone. You can, get apps. I've given you access to them, or just download an app that sets a reminder, and then practice. And then, you've got all of this on your phone. So if you go into here, where we LG, there it all is on your phone. So you bring it up and you go, okay, well, I've just been reminded, and I'll listen for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes, 26 seconds. Okay, I can do that. And then, 4-minute break, and then I'll carry on. And if you do that, if you have the discipline to do that, your life is going to change. It's guaranteed. You can't not keep reminding yourself of the truth and not have a profound effect on your mind, and then your perceptions change, and your perception and your mind create your life. So your life changes. But, it requires some discipline to do it. And, you're just doing it for yourself. You're doing it because you want to stay in this connected state and not allow the ego to come in and cause chaos. And, and I think that's your pattern is, okay, I'm disorganized. And I just go, okay, well, what I need is a bit of structure, a bit of discipline, a bit of organization, because that's going to really help me to stay connected. That's the point of it.
That's really funny because, as you said, your pattern is you cut off.
Yeah. Of course. The pattern is to get distracted, isn't it? To get chaotic and distracted and disorganized, and then you don't practice, and life just happens, and then stuff, shit happens, as they say, things come up, and then because you're not practicing regularly, the ego gets you, and it's like, right, now I'm going to get angry, and we get upset, and it's going to trigger me, and I'm going to go out of my connection with my source and my spirit. And then you come to a session and you go, oh, but no, I've got to get back into it, and I've got to remind myself. Yeah, but once a week's not enough, is it?
No.
Once a week, once every 2 weeks isn't enough. It's got to be a daily practice. That's why I've designed the program. It's to support you in a daily practice. All the materials here, I've tried to lay it out as explicitly as possible, in as organized a way as possible. What I'd really like to do is put it into an app, and then have the app remind you, and then you can just tap on a link, and it'll play the recording. But I'm not there yet. I haven't done that yet. I'm working on it.
Yeah,
So,
brilliant.
but you have the material. It's there. It's in Telegram. You can get another app and just remind yourself, daily, hourly. So maybe you say, look, hourly is not realistic, but maybe I can do it every 2 hours or 3 hours. It's a start. Set a reminder every 2 hours. Have you got the time to do 3 minutes every 2 hours? Probably you do. Hey, you do if you're honest about it.
Yeah.
Your life's not that frenetic and hectic that you
No.
can't. So you do it. If you happen to be busy in a conversation at that point, okay, you leave it and you do it when you can. It's not interrupting your flow, but if you can, then you do it. Now that's going to make a big, big difference, because now you're getting in. If you do the morning and the evening ones, and then you do a few sessions in between, you may be getting in at least an hour of spiritual practice in the day. And if you keep doing that, and that's interspersed through the day, that's going to start making quite a profound difference in your state of mind. And your state of mind affects your entire life. Your perceptions, your thoughts, words, actions, perceptions, all come out of your state of mind. And this is how you change your life. One little breath break at a time, one little bit of discipline at a time.
Yeah.
You can do anything if you're disciplined. But if you're not, you can't accomplish anything, because you're just chaotic and disorganized and distracted, and your mind can't focus. And then the ego loves that, because then it's havoc and of course chaos and lots of difficult thoughts and emotions, and there's no control over that process. So the key thing with, if you're really serious about awakening, it's discipline. You got to how you're going to do it. And Yeshua acknowledges that and says, well, okay, I'll give you a structured process. That's why he's got a workbook, which gives you daily lessons and meditations and exercises you can do. And he's saying, do it every hour. That's his ideal. Do it. Okay. I don't know anyone who does every hour, but if you can do it a few times in the day, you're doing pretty well. And morning and evening, definitely. If you don't do it morning and evening, how are you going to set yourself into that vibration, into that feeling, and then reset at the end of the day? When you go to bed, and it's been a chaotic day, and you go to bed with the chaos, and the chaos continues into the next day, and on it goes. And you're not really making any spiritual progress. It's just chaos and disorganization. And you feel that, then you don't feel connected, and you don't feel organized and structured. And the structure gives you a safety and a comfort in this world. You take refuge in your spiritual practice. But what else do you have to turn to? Because in your spiritual practice, you're turning to God and you're saying, okay, I'm making time for this awareness to come into my life. And I'm giving it its time so that it can come in and it can bless me and heal me and organize my life. If I never give it any time and space, how do I expect that to happen? It's not really realistic to expect it to happen in any real way. It's hit or miss. You kind of and a lot of miss rather than hit, a lot of miss. So my advice to you, and I'm saying this in the kindest way, is to just be more structured, be more disciplined about it. And because that's the way you'll take your life to another level of experience, which you deserve. You deserve that connected. We're talking earlier with John, I did a one-on-one session about peak experiences. He's just been on a 9-day retreat, and he said it was really amazing, just the connections with people and experiences, and it was a really like peak experience. But he had a structure, he had a process, he was disciplined about it, we prepared for it, he was practicing his lessons. It was like, okay, he was organized and he was structured and he was disciplined, and that gave him the peak experience. If he'd gone in without any preparation and he hadn't done any rehearsal, and the fears that we dealt with were still there, he would have had a very different experience. It wouldn't have been a peak experience, probably. Yeah, so just like give yourself yourself that gift of this. I deserve this. You know, I'm worthy of peak experiences moment by moment.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give myself the gift of this. I'm worthy of connecting with God throughout the day and of experiencing this divine connection and of being you know, in the flow with this wonderful energy and experiencing that. Why am I depriving myself of this through my lack of organization and structure? It's just avoidance, isn't it? It's just another defense of the ego saying, I don't deserve this. I mean, it's not conscious, but you know, I'm essentially, I deserve disorganization and chaos and to be, you know, distracted constantly by the ego and disconnected from my source. That's what you're saying when you don't, you know, stay to your structure and your process. Whereas the discipline is like, no, I deserve this. Every time I do it, I'm saying, yes, I value myself. I value my mind. You know, and I'm dedicating myself to this one holy purpose of my life, which is to return to love. As you know, Marianne Williamson's book says, the return to love. I'm dedicating my mind to that process through my structure, through my discipline. And if I'm not structured and disciplined right, how's it going to happen? Let's be honest about it. How's it going to happen in any meaningful way if I don't have a process and a structure to it? The likelihood is not going to happen. It's going to be very hit or miss. And, you know, you can go through your whole life like that. Or you can say, okay, it's time to take it to another level because I really, really want this peak experience of being in the flow with life and being one with God and letting that experience be my default experience in this world. I'm tired of the chaos and the disorganization and the inevitable suffering that comes with that. I deserve a better experience. And only I can give myself that experience. No one else can do that for you, can they?
No, it's weird. I've been working on other stuff like cutting out the Diet Coke and eating more healthily. I'm having the
Mm,
smoothies every day, which means I'm getting nutrients and stuff that every single day that I wasn't getting, like from
mm,
spinach and things like that. Which honestly, I would never bother normally eating that. So I'm doing
mm,
these things. I've improved those
mm.
patterns, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I can definitely feel it's like I'm having more cut off times. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
I expected it to be getting, because I've had so many times where I feel the connection. I physically feel connections as well. But I remember I
mm,
get the tingling on my head and stuff, which sounds crazy, but
mm,
I'm not getting that at all at the moment.
mm, mm.
So something's
Yeah,
not
disconnected.
right
Well,
at
remember,
all.
the ego has a huge resistance to all of this. It
Yeah,
doesn't want you to know this because this is awakening. This is the end of the ego. So, okay, you're getting more disciplined and structured in some aspects, and then it's going to
yeah,
go, okay, well, but we have to maintain our the ego identity. So let's keep some of this disorganization and chaos in your life going because that keeps me in business and wants you to, remain disconnected from your source. And the counter to that is, okay, I'll be disciplined about my spiritual practice. I'll apply these lessons in a systematic, disciplined way as Yeshua's recommending. And he's saying, if you just do this course, if you just practice it as I'm suggesting you practice it, that's all you have to do. I've designed the course and he knows it works. Just keep, you just got to do it.
yeah,
And that's what it comes down to. Yeah, how much do you want it? How much do you want to awaken? And how much do you want to stay asleep? That's what it comes down to. What do you want? What's your intent? And that becomes a moment by moment decision. Okay, I
yeah,
choose to practice meditation or do a breath break or come on a live session. By your actions, you're saying, I want awakening above everything else. Choose to not do it, get distracted by various trivialities in life, then you're saying, no, I don't want to awaken. I prefer the distractions and the illusions of this world.
Yeah.
And it's that simple. It's really, this isn't rocket science, is it? It's very, very simple. It's just having this awareness ongoing. So you don't, I think you need to be very honest. That's the second characteristic of God's teachers, in the manual for teachers. Very honesty. Okay, I have to be very honest with myself. If I'm avoiding, if I'm deceiving myself, I need to be honest about that and go, yes, I can see that. I'm just avoiding. This is defense against the truth.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can see it, but it's like it's getting harder. It's not getting easier. It's getting harder and harder all the time. The more I know, the more I learn. It's like the less I know, and the less it's all working, and the less time I'm in flow. And oh my God, it's draining.
Well, that's because the resistance comes up. The people that's a common misconception. Oh, it's going to get easier and easier, and it's all going to be wonderful and flowing. And I've heard spiritual teachers saying this, and you're going, no, well, ultimately, maybe. Once you're at the level of Yeshua, the Buddha, but to get there, oh my goodness, that's a whole journey. You've got to go through a lot to get to that enlightened state, generally speaking. So the structure, the process, it's like, okay, I know it's going to be tough. And so come back to the football analogy, right? The guys, they know it's going to be tough. Like you're going to be put under this kind of pressure. You're going into these matches, they're like very, very challenging. You know that. So have a process, have a structure, because that's the only way you're going to cope.
Yeah.
That's your refuge. Okay, I can go, I've got a structure, I've got a process, and no matter what's happening, I can go back to that. And some people will say, well, that's a crutch, and using spirituality as a crutch in life. Well, what else are you going to use? You've got to have something to help you cope with the madness of this world. If you don't do that, you're going to do something else, aren't you?
Yeah.
Alcohol, drugs, shopping, sex, gambling, etc., etc. Whatever people use, because you're going to reach to something to help you cope. So your spiritual practice is the coping mechanism, and it's the only one that's truly going to work, because it's connecting you with the ultimate source of your being, which has the answer to all of your problems.
See, that's what's confusing. So all those things, I don't drink, don't smoke. I'm single, so I'm not having sex. I'm not shopping. I'm not doing any of those things, and I still can't get in flow all the time.
Yeah, it's because your mind is not trained enough. It's very easy to get distracted by random thoughts, scattered ideas. This is about focused attention and concentration. I think why you enjoy the photography is it's a focus point, isn't it? It's a focal point.
Yeah.
You do it and you're like, okay, I put 100% of my attention into that, and my mind focuses, and I get into a flow state as a result.
Yeah.
You can't necessarily do that in other aspects of your life.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Too many thoughts, and so this process trains you. Okay, you're gonna focus on these ideas to bring your attention and your focus into a single pointed focus and awareness. And if you do that throughout the day, that's going to start changing the way your mind works. And you're going to be able to stay much more connected to your source, to who you really are, and not be distracted, and not go wandering off into all these illusions anymore. So, although it's good, I mean, you've got a good foundation. You're not doing any of those things. You've cleaned that up. All right. Now it's like taking the next step and saying, okay, I need to be more disciplined in my practice. And this is how yoga works. You establish a foundation. They say clean up your environment and stop doing harmful things like addictions and the abstinences and observances first, and then you start moving into practices like breath work, asana, breath work, and then meditation.
Yeah.
Withdrawing the senses, going into a focused kind of concentrative type of meditation where you focus on one thing, so that your photography is probably doing that at the moment in your life, but maybe you could do it in a more structured way in your meditations. Okay, so focus on one idea. You do a 17-minute meditation on the lesson. You focus your attention on that idea. That's focus, isn't it? Single point of focus.
Yeah.
You have to exclude everything else, and inevitably the mind might think of and wander, but then you bring it back to the idea and you're breathing. Okay, I'll focus. So you're learning to control your mind and focus your attention. And then the seventh limb of yoga is a deeper kind of meditation, where you start going into a deeper contemplative awareness, which opens you up eventually to samadhi, to a state of just getting lost in pure formless awareness of perfect love, which is the eighth limb of samadhi. But to get to samadhi, there's a whole process to go through. You don't just get to samadhi without having mastered the first 7 limbs, and there's a lot of spiritual practice that goes into that.
Okay, so perhaps I could set an alarm for like 8 in the morning or something, and then 9 at night, maybe.
Yeah. Do it when you get up. Whenever you get up, go, okay, I'll do my practice. I'll do my meditation before I go into the day. That's the best way of doing it. If you need to get up earlier, if you've got appointments or whatever, then get up earlier. So you give yourself at least half an hour to do some spiritual practice. Because once you're in the day, it's difficult to then go, okay, well, I've kind of got into the day and, I'm busy with my phone, and do it, first thing you get up. You're also then in a meditative state. You're in an alpha state already. So use that and then go into your meditation. And then at night, before bed, all right, so as a wind down, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give myself 20 minutes, of just clearing time, just to set myself, give myself every opportunity to have a good sleep. And then in between, you could set your alarm every 2 hours and say, okay, I'll just do a breath break. When the alarm comes, if there's nothing else that I'm immediately busy with, I'll take 3-4 minutes, because that's all the breath breaks are generally, sometimes 5, and do it. And
I'm sleeping really badly at the moment.
Yeah.
Getting much sleep, really. Luckily, it doesn't affect me too much, but
yeah,
it builds up. It built up to a fever pitch the other day, and when I got to the place where I was staying for one night, I fell asleep at about 7 o'clock and woke up at 2 and then was wide awake. So
that's just organizing your mind and being like, okay, I'm in a calm, peaceful place before I go to sleep. And the more you meditate in the day, and you learn to focus your attention, the easier you'll sleep.
Yeah.
You don't sleep when your mind is chaotic and disorganized and there's lots of thoughts going through your mind, do you? It's like that's when you don't sleep. So the more you practice the discipline of being able to focus your mind on one thing through your spiritual practice, your meditations, the easier it is to sleep. Your mind is tuned into one thing, and you just set yourself in the day with your final spiritual practice. You do your lesson, you do the 4 questions, go through that, and it's a routine. It's a ritual that you go through to set yourself into a state of mind so that sleep comes naturally. And then I listen to a frequency. I find that very helpful. So the Power Sleep track, I just put that on, put my headphones on, and I'll go to sleep with that. And it just blocks out all the surround sound. So, unless there's a bomb going off, I'm not going to wake up. And it helps you drop in very quickly into an alpha state where you sleep. So it doesn't typically take me more than about 5 minutes to go to sleep.
Okay.
So these things are all there. The Power Sleep Track, I think I've given you access to
Yeah,
it before.
yeah, definitely. I've got that.
Got it. So just have some headphones, listen to it when you're preparing for bed. If you're not listening to another recording, and you're reading, and then just go to sleep with it. Get surround sound headphones so that they, the plugs kind of hurt your ears, but the surround sound, the surrounding ones that are padded, don't really. You can sleep all night with those, and you'll sleep better. It just takes you into a deeper sleep more quickly, and so you don't waste time.
Yeah.
These are all things, that are very doable. Just putting in place the systems and the structures to support it, and saying, okay, well, I'll do this and I'll apply it, and that changes your experience and your state, which is why you're doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
And you've shown you can do it. You made some changes last time we had a conversation. I listened. You stopped Diet Coke, started doing smooth. So okay, just implement it, apply it. And if you can do it over a few days, you start establishing a habit. So, okay, well, I can do this. It's a new pattern, it's a new habit, and on this foundation, your life gets built. These good habits give you a very strong foundation that makes you resilient, that sees you through, the inevitable slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, as Shakespeare called them, that happen. You've got a process, you've got a discipline, you've got a structure. That's what's going to get you through, the difficulties. I think too many people don't have that. So you don't have that structure and that process in place, then the pressure comes and then they fold. And then they freak out, and then they turn to something else. A substance, drugs, they go to a doctor, get antidepressants, drink more, zone out on the internet, on TV, eating, all these things, because you've got to find something, haven't you, to help you cope. If you don't have the only thing which really well, which is a good solid spiritual practice.
Yeah, I suppose it's been eating for me. I've probably eaten more junk.
Yeah, that's common. I'll just eat, and that gives me a sense of comfort.
Yeah.
But it's very temporary. It lasts while you eat, and then it's gone, and then you've got to eat some more.
Yeah.
And then that has its own side effects. You get fat, you get unhealthy, your energy drops.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Like, well,
I feel like I've gone backward.
Is that really working? Support that doesn't have. Well, it's just a journey. I think in some ways you've made progress, but then the ego being what it is, then has other ways. It's like, okay, now I've got some other blocks I'm going to bring up. So you haven't really. It's just okay. You've uncovered another level of resistance.
Yeah. Because you can't go backward. Yeah.
Got through one. Okay, there's another one. The hero's journey. The hero is the person who says it doesn't matter what the ego throws at me, I'll overcome it. The higher, there's a great song. The higher you build your barriers, the faster, or the higher I'll climb, the faster I'll run. It's that idea. Okay, the more the ego comes up with its blocks and its resistance, I'll just dig in and I'll dig deeper and I'll overcome it.
Yeah.
That's the hero's journey. Not get discouraged and say, oh, I've just gone backwards. You haven't really. You're actually making progress, and then there's just another level of resistance that comes in.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. Okay.
And that's what you need. Okay. Another block comes up. How are you going to overcome that? And you have the way. I mean, these tools, these techniques, it's all there. It's available for you. You get this every day. You use them. Use all of this to create a process for yourself that works. That's the idea of this. So you pick and choose amongst all of these available tools and techniques, and you say, okay, that could work, and that could work, and that could work, and I'll do 2 or 3 or 4 things in the day that could really work for me, and I'll just stick to that process. I'll just keep doing it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to set reminders every day for every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Set
I'll try
reminders
that.
and,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah. And if you have that intent and you do it, no reason why you can't get into a much better habit
Yeah.
in a few days. And then the ego might come up with something else, and then you're like, okay, so how do I deal with that? Well,
Surprise.
that's the ongoing journey, okay,
Yeah.
well, I'll find a way around or through that. But the answer is always spiritual practice, because that's what's going to remind you of the truth. And the truth is what sets you free, as Yeshua says. So keep going back to the truth, and you do that through a disciplined spiritual practice.
Okay.
All right, so let's have a look at today's lesson, shall we? And we'll do a meditation on it.
I'm going to have to take the dog out in a minute because it's already like 9 o'clock and I've still got to walk the dog.
Okay. Well, let's just do the lesson. It's very short, it's just a
Yeah.
review lesson.
Yeah.
Let's look at lesson 142. This is. So if you want to read that in the key idea, then my mind holds only what I think with God, and then the alternative of that.
There's nothing on the screen, so.
Oh, sorry, I haven't shared my.
My mind holds only what I think with God, pure formless awareness of perfect love. I thank my Father for his gifts to me. I thank my source for its gifts to me. Let me remember I am one with God. Let me remember that I am pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Okay, so thoughts on that. Let's unpack it first. The first idea, my mind holds only what I think with pure formless awareness of perfect love.
Yeah, there's something about
Is,
that sentence that doesn't resonate with me at all. I know what it means. It means although those words don't say it to me, it's about being in that place of peace and knowing the truth and knowing that I'm connected.
And my thoughts are, of that quality. I'm not having upsetting thoughts, angry thoughts, fearful thoughts. I'm in a peaceful awareness, a loving awareness.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Words just remind us of, that truth. And then that leads us nicely into the first lesson, which is I thank my source for its gifts to me. So when you're in this loving awareness, the gifts that you experience, peace, joy, happiness,
Yeah.
are, because you start becoming aware of them. Grateful.
I am still aware of those things.
Mm.
Just that I step out of it sometimes, obviously.
Yeah, as we all do. That's the whole problem.
Yeah.
We forget. We forget those gifts. We forget this awareness. We deny it again. We go into the ego, and in the ego, we're lost. We're now lost in a false identity and a whole lot of false thoughts and emotions, which make us unhappy.
Yeah.
And these lessons are a simple way of bringing us back to our true awareness.
Yeah.
Almost awareness of perfect love. And that's all we do. This is a very, very simple course. You're just saying, well, just keep bringing yourself back to this true awareness, which is your own true awareness. It's what you really are. Just keep reminding yourself of that. That's all the Holy Spirit is, the remembrance of that awareness. Keep reminding yourself of that throughout the day, because you're very prone to forget.
Yeah.
The nature of the dream is it's designed to make you forget. That's what it is. You need a structured approach, because otherwise you will forget.
Yeah.
And let me remember that I am pure formless awareness of perfect love. So whenever you practice any of the lessons, in this course, you're remembering that. That's a simple lesson. You're just remembering who you are. It's a reminder of who you are in the distracting chaos of the world. So it anchors you to the truth of who you really are.
Yeah.
Which is hugely valuable and helpful. And the only requirement doesn't cost you anything except time. Just some of your time needs to be given to this. Every day in a ideally a structured way. So it's not, oh, well, hit or miss, I'll do the lesson or I won't, and it doesn't really matter. No, I'll do it in the morning, I'll do it in between several times, I'll do it in the evening. And I'm doing that because I want this experience. I want these gifts. I want to stay connected to these gifts. I want to experience love, peace, and joy throughout the day. I want to be much more resilient against the ego's temptations. And that's what the lessons are for. Every lesson, it's the same lesson every day, isn't it, really? It just gives us a different word.
Yeah.
Same lesson, essentially. Forget the illusion, remember the truth of who you are, and use the lesson to help you do that. And he gives us different lessons because he knows how our minds work. It was the same lesson with the same words every day. We get bored.
Yeah.
Oh, not the same lesson again. I need something different. So he gives us a different form of it to keep our minds somewhat engaged, but it's actually the same lesson.
Yeah. Slightly different angle, but yeah, they're always the same. They always lead into
a different perspective. It's the same lesson of letting go of the illusion and connecting with the truth. And that's what the lesson is designed to do.
Yeah.
And it'll be a different aspect of it. It'll be a different element of maybe addressing a different element of the illusion. There's slight variations, but essentially it's all the same. It's the same lesson over and over and over again. The same, one message, one lesson, one simple process that he's actually giving us to do. And then it starts to make a whole load of sense. You're like, wow, that's just so simple. It's simple, it's straightforward, it's not complicated, it's not rocket science. Anyone can actually do this with the willingness. It's a willingness and it's a discipline. Ability to self-discipline yourself is critical.
Yeah.
You can't discipline yourself.
It's missing. It's critical and it's missing.
Yeah, but you can practice it. That's part of the practice. Okay, so you're not that disciplined right now because no one starts off that discipline. We all have an undisciplined mind because that's the ego. Very wild, very undisciplined, very scattered, distracted. Yeah, okay, welcome to the human condition. We all have that tendency. But you can train yourself through these practices over years to discipline your mind so that you can focus, you can concentrate, and you can stay connected, no matter, no matter what the ego does. You can come back to that. Then you become robust, you become resilient under pressure, like the footballers. Like you go, how do you cope with that pressure? The ordinary person can't imagine it. Like, how do you cope? The whole world's looking at you. The whole country's got its expectation. How do you do that? You do that with a disciplined, structured process, and you stick to that no matter what. That's how you do it. Same applies, in spiritual practice. Okay. So any other thoughts on that? Elaine, you've been very quiet. Any thoughts, comments, or questions on that?
Sorry, Elaine.
I think Elaine quite enjoys it when someone else, because the focus
It's
isn't
a
on you.
break.
Yeah, it's a break from like, I have to just be
All
engaged.
the pressure.
Oh,
Yeah.
did you call there, John, or I heard you say something?
Yeah, I just said, have you got
I'm just
anything
getting a
to
drink.
share? Yeah.
Cheers.
Just any comments or questions?
Oh, no, everything's good. Yeah, no, I agree with everything you
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm just saying you're probably actually quite relieved to have someone else, because normally it's just you and me.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, I
more
said sorry for taking up all the time, Elaine.
No, not at all, Lynn. No. More the merrier.
No.
And of course, it's
No.
it's
Well, it's
we're all
nice
in
to
this.
have another energy and dynamic, and like,
Oh,
okay,
of
so
course,
there's
absolutely.
a different,
We're
and
all
I
in the
think that's
same boat.
Yeah.
We're all in the
primary,
same boat.
Lynn, you're not unusual. I think everyone struggles with discipline.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Just to stay,
You're so good though, Elaine. You're coming on here most days, aren't you? So you're
Oh, well, it's
doing.
just yeah, I just find it for me it resonates. Yeah, I just find this is a better world than the chaos that's going on at the
Without,
moment.
yeah. No, I can
So
imagine
for
that.
me, it's just the right time and the right place for me at this point in my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
then that's part of, Elaine, that's part of your system. You've got a process, you've got a system. You do 3 sessions a week.
yeah.
It's part of
It
that structure that you put
helps.
in
It
place
helps.
to help you deal with the inevitable chaos of life.
Absolutely, yes. No, I find it's helped me. That's just for me personally. Yeah.
So truth is there. I mean, these truths have been there for centuries, for millennia.
Yeah.
But they're not going to help you much if you don't practice them.
Oh, that's the big one. That's the big one.
The truth shall set you free, said Yeshua. You'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. But if you don't make the effort to come to know the truth, then the truth can't set you free because you're unaware of it.
It's just a discovery journey. It's a big discovery. You do feel as though, oh, I'm on the right track here, but it's making clear of the expectations have to be cleared out the way, because that's an obstacle, isn't it? So yeah, it's a discovery journey for me, and sometimes I'm 2 steps forward and then 3 back, and then
It does feel like that, but if you look overall, it's where you've come from. You go, well, I can see I've made progress.
Yes. Oh, it's been a big help for me, as I say, because I've had a crazy couple of years, absolutely crazy. So no, I'm very grateful to the course. Well, and to yourself, Jono, in the group.
Oh, it definitely makes a difference for me, even though my time's sporadic here at the moment now.
But we go through it though, don't we?
Yeah,
Lynn. It's just something that
I guess my personal life is, even though I'm really happy with much of it, it is chaotic going from one house to another house to another house.
Of course.
Sometimes if I'm somewhere only for 2-3 days, and then I'm at another place for 11 days, like now, and then when I finish here, I'm somewhere else for 3 days, but there's quite a journey in between, and that's probably why I'm having little realizations here.
I think it's exciting at first, and then it just
takes a lot of my brain space,
Yeah.
I have to keep thinking ahead and
Exactly.
making sure I've got everything in place for the next thing, and then how I can get to the next place. And
So
Oh,
you've got
God.
nowhere to, yeah, I know what you mean. You need your sort of sanctuary places
Yeah,
where you
yeah.
can lay your head
I
without.
don't get so
yeah.
much sanctuary physically now.
Yeah, so it would have
Yeah.
started off exciting and then it's starting to get wearing. I know what you mean, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the inner sanctuary. See, I mean,
yeah,
I know what you mean because I spent a lot of time in different places
yeah,
over the last 2-3 years. But you know what keeps you sane is like, well, I have my process, I have my practice, my structure, and I do that wherever. It doesn't really matter where I am.
yeah,
I'll carry on. I'll do that. And that's a rock. Build your house on the rock rather than on sand,
yeah.
as the parable goes.
Hmm.
That becomes your rock, no matter where you go. So especially important when you're moving around a lot and there's no stability in your physical environment
Yeah,
to establish it in within through your practice. And in many ways that's kind of helpful because a lot of people rely on the physical. Oh, well, I have the same house. I've had the same house for 10 years and my
yeah,
physical environment stays the same. That can be its own trap. I feel a sense of security because I've got a house and that's secure, and I know my neighborhood, that's the same, and I see the same neighbors, and you don't have that, so your security's got to come from a deeper place.
yeah. That's what's
Then,
changed. I couldn't work it. I couldn't work out why I felt less connected, but yeah,
mm,
I'm using more of my energy and brain space on those things at the
mm,
moment, whereas I didn't have to before when I was at Sally's because I always
yeah,
had that place to go back to and
mm,
all my stuff was there. And like now,
yeah,
my stuff's in a completely different place and it's hard for me to get there. And
mm,
yeah, oh, that's a good realization. Now I can calm down about that a bit more. Now I've
yeah.
realized that.
To replace that, you had a physical structure in place
Yeah.
that's not gone, but replace it with a spiritual one.
Yeah, it's pushed me to that, hasn't it? That's where I'm heading. Yeah, I see that now. Thank goodness. Oh,
You take refuge in the Buddhist teaching. I did the Vipassana retreat. They make you take a vow. They say, I take refuge in Dhamma, which is the truth. I take refuge in Buddha, which is my process, my awakening to the truth. And I take refuge in Sangha, which is the community of the truth that supports your exploration of that truth, your realization of that truth.
yeah.
That's where your refuge is. So not in any physical location anymore. You don't have a home as
No.
such, but you have the truth, you have a practice of the truth, and you have a
Yeah.
community supporting you in the realization of that truth. It's just online.
Yeah.
So you can join wherever, it's all of the materials available to you. Wherever you go, you have the material, you can practice it wherever you go. And, you have these sessions that are happening every day, 5 days a week. I did, by the way, decide to accept your suggestion of not doing weekends anymore because
Oh, well done.
it puts too much pressure. It puts pressure on my
Yes.
family because
Yeah.
I have to run off. And then Deborah's like, well, when do you have to leave? And then the dinner's
Yeah.
not done in time, and then scoffing my dinner down to
Yeah.
run. It
Oh,
just
that's
really,
good.
yeah. So that's a little
Because you put
structure.
enough into it. You put enough into it
Mm.
that, to have that time off. So that's good. That
Yeah,
makes
and
sense.
now the recordings are done. I've got 2 years of recording, so I'm
Yeah.
just I'm saying, well, if you want a session, then there it is. It's recorded.
Yeah.
Most people aren't showing up to the live sessions anyway, so listen to the
Yeah.
recording. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it was a year ago. It's
Hmm.
it's a recording, and every session had a depth. There's meaning in every session. There's
Yeah, of course. They've still got their
yeah,
energy.
yeah, exactly. And you can pick up on that, and now you've forgotten. If you did the session then, you've forgotten about it. It's fresh again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just it's another phase of this, and then my process around it remains. I've just kept I'll keep running the live sessions 5 days a week because that's part of the structure of my own life. and doing the meditations every day, practicing the Dharma. I practice the Course a lot through actually doing it. You know, when I'm editing the documents at night, I'm reading the stuff and I'm checking it. It's all spiritual practice. I'm reading it,
Yeah.
I'm absorbing it. So yeah,
Lovely.
so we all find our own way. You know, it's find a way that you can make this work for you, and replace that structure that you're missing. I think that's the realization. You know, that's gone, and understandably, I mean, you had that for 7 years. Now something's changed, and you're not quite sure what, and you feel a bit lost. It's
Yeah.
understandable.
Yeah. 8 years actually. Yeah.
Yeah, but replace it with another structure that's actually more supportive. You know, that structure was temporary. It was of the world. This is
Yeah.
an
Yeah. Yeah.
structure. You know, it's a spiritual practice is the only structure in this world that leads you to the truth.
Yeah.
Because it just deepens you into an awareness of this ultimate awareness of love, which eventually helps you to let go of all structures. You don't need practice and structure when you fully realize the truth. You're just in it. They call it the pathless path, you know, and but all very well saying that, you know, but you need a path to get there. The pathless path, and I just, you know, that unfolds in after usually much practice and much discipline to get into a state where you just, you know, are the truth, and you just in the state of samadhi most of the time. That's, you know, a lifetime journey, and a lot of practice generally goes into experiencing that. Speaking of which, shall we do a meditation on this just to close out the session?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. So let's do that. Do a 15-minute med. I've got to go in 15 minutes.
John, I think I'm going to do it when I come back in with the dogs. It's getting darker out there now, so I'm going to take her out before it gets dark. But so I'll leave now, but I'll listen to it when I come back in.
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
Thank you very much. Thank
All
you
right.
both.
Hope to see
Lovely
you
to see
soon.
you both. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
you
day.
too, Lynn. Good
Thank
Bye for
night.
you.
now.
Bye.
Take care. Bye, Lynn.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So
I'll just mute.
yeah, mute yourself. Let's go into meditation on today's lesson 142. My mind holds only what I think with God, and a couple of lessons to review. So a review lesson. So close your eyes, sitting comfortably with your feet shoulder width apart, your back straight. Up your hands, deep breath in through the nose, breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises, the chest rises, the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. You clench your sphincter muscle, you lock the energy in, draw the energy up your spine to your heart center, on up into the crown of your head, pausing at the top of the inhale. Just scan your mind. So notice any thoughts and emotions that are not loving. Might be a little bit of irritation, frustration, fear, guilt, attack thoughts, sadness, anger, depression, and whatever else going on. Breathe into all of that and remind yourself that my mind or my awareness holds only what I think with God, which is pure formless awareness of perfect love. So my mind holds only what I think with pure formless awareness of perfect love. And exhale. blowing it all out, letting it all go. The breeze of your breath into the nothingness. And all this all these distracting thoughts really are. They're really nothing. Nowhere and nothing. Blow them away. The breeze of your breath into the nothingness they really are. And now just give thanks for the gifts that this awareness brings you. Breathe in and embrace these gifts. Love, peace, joy, sense of underlying happiness no matter what. Forgiveness, miracles. So really embrace these gifts. I thank my source for its gifts to me. Inhaling those gifts. These are eternal gifts. These are gifts in the mind, felt in your heart and in your mind and your experience. Nothing material. There's no form to these gifts. Thank my source for its gifts to me. Thank my source for its gifts. Say that a couple of times to yourself. Breathing in and allowing these gifts to infuse your whole mind, your whole body with their beneficent presence. And you remember, I'm one with God. Let me remember I'm one with God. Let me remember that I am pure formless awareness of perfect love. Let me remember that I am this awareness, pure formless awareness of perfect love. So breathe that into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body, every part of your mind, every fiber of your being. Is in this expanded awareness, perfect love. Exhale anything else out. Remind yourself that my mind holds only what I think with this awareness of perfect love. There is no other awareness. Just this one singular awareness. This loving awareness is you, it's what you are. And remember that I am loving awareness. So experience this loving awareness fully, deeply, wholly, and completely. For a couple of minutes of deep silence. There's really nowhere else to go, and there's nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. You just breathe, relax, and be still. Surrender into this loving awareness. A couple of minutes of deep contemplative silence. Nothing else to go, nothing else to do, nothing else to think about. Just be this awareness. It means by remember I'm one with God. Be in this awareness, be this awareness, pure formless awareness, perfect love. We call it. So let me remember that I am pure formless awareness, perfect love. Say I am pure formless awareness of perfect love. Invite this awareness in to your awareness right now. For the next 2 minutes of deep silence, just be this awareness. So just coming back gently from this very deep connected state of awareness into awareness of your body and the breath, senses and the world. And on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. So 1, just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Pausing at the top of the inhale. Scan your mind, noticing any thoughts and emotions going on. Anything that you feel is untoward, difficult in any way, shape, or form, and remind yourself, my mind holds only what I think with God or perfect love. My mind holds only what I think with pure formless awareness of perfect love. And I thank my source for its gifts to me. So embrace these gifts of love, peace, and joy. And in this, let me remember that I am one with God, or I am pure, formless awareness of perfect love. Embrace this awareness, accept this awareness as your awareness, and You exhale, on the count of 2, just blowing any other awareness away. Just letting go of any awareness that seems to contradict this awareness. Blowing it away like a dark cloud or a black smoke. Just leaving you. Just going, gone. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. And rest in this deeper awareness. Awareness of the truth. Anchor this awareness in. So be aware of it, set the intention to stay here. Stay in this awareness for the rest of the evening, on into tomorrow. So it is said and so it is done. We'll practice today's lesson to help you do that. Listen to the lesson, the breath break I've sent you, or just remind yourself of the words. Mind holds only what I think with God. And remember that I am pure formless awareness of perfect love. To remind yourself of the truth. So it is said and so it is done. Now on the count of 3, you can open your eyes. So just take a minute to look around. Just observing what's going on in the room around you in this very calm, clear, detached way. So noticing this awareness is still there, underlying everything you see. So whatever you're looking at, same awareness. Close your eyes, notice that awareness. Open your eyes, notice the awareness. And in this way, you remember that you are one with God. You remember this awareness. Wherever you go, there, this awareness goes with you. God goes with you wherever you go. That's another lesson. This awareness is with you wherever you go, in your own experience, as your own experience. And that's when you really start to live the course. Okay, so just stay connected to this awareness. No matter what seems to happen, practice the lesson to help you. And wishing you a very peaceful, loving evening. Brings us to the end of the meditation and tonight's session. So thanks, Elaine.
Yep, thank you.
Good session.
Yes.
Great that you joined. So I'll
Yeah.
see you tomorrow. You're going to join tomorrow. Need to do
Yeah.
either an afternoon or an evening session. Up to you.
The
I can do,
evening tomorrow better because it's coming towards the end of the family and they want us at the pool.
yeah. Okay. So
So
I can do there's football, but it only starts at 8. England are
okay.
playing. No doubt Dave will probably want to watch that as well. So
Yes,
should
we'll be
we
watching it. Do you want to do
shall
an
we
earlier
do
one?
5 p.m.? Should we start at 5? That'll give us 3 hours.
Yeah, 5 or 5:30. Yeah, because obviously I know that I'm out in the morning, so I've got afternoon in the pool with his family. So 5:30 would be better. So we could do a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Well, you need to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 5:30 till just before 8. Yeah. Well, we can go till 7:45, 10 to 8, something like that. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
See you
that's great.
5:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
That's great. Okay, see you
Thanks,
then.
man.
Namaste.
All right.
Bye.
Nice evening. All right. Namaste. Bye. Right, so that's a wrap for today. Thank you to Elaine and Lynn for joining. If you enjoyed the session, then do subscribe and you'll be notified whenever I go live, which is 3 or 4 times a week. YouTube will notify you of those live streams so you can listen in. If you'd like to join us in person, sign up there to receive a daily Telegram message, which has the daily quote and some teaching around that, and a daily lesson from the Course in Miracles workbook, and a short mini meditation or breath break to practice the lesson, as well as notifications about the live session. So, and login access to join these Zoom calls. So head over to lifepool.com, sign up, and you'll be able to join us in one of these sessions. So I hope you'll do that and to connect with you on the inside on one of these sessions soon. Thanks so much for watching and listening, and namaste, which means the divine presence, the pure formless awareness of perfect love in me, acknowledges and honors that same awareness of perfect love in you. I'm wishing you much love, peace, and joy in that awareness. Bye for now.